Hey all, welcome back to the Awesome Life podcast. I am Karen Stultz, your host today, and I love my guests. As you may have noticed, my guests are absolutely awesome. But let me share with you a little bit why we have the Awesome Life podcast. Because this podcast was started because I had so many people, clients, friends, networking people who were just looking for the next thing to do as they transition from one stage of their life to another. And some people may have had an illness or become a caregiver, or maybe their parents and their kids have grown and left the home, or maybe they just hate their job or they were downsized. But you're in transition. You're looking for something, the next stage in life, and where you might be able to go. What are your resources? What is the inspiration? Maybe you don't even know what you want to do. So my guests and I help you be inspired and have the resources to help you enjoy the next stage of life, whatever that next stage of life will be. And my guest today, Permelia Parham, I think I pronounced that almost right.
You did perfect.
Yay! She has been divinely guided to create the Healing Institute. It's a virtual global platform connecting clients to holistic practitioners. And Permelia inspires her team of professional holistic practitioners to create a proactive wellness community, supporting the clients and each other. The Healing Institute's motto is service with love. So you can understand why I felt that she was an ideal guest for the Awesome Life podcast. Plus, look at her smile. She's such a fun person to be with, and I only enjoy hanging out with fun people. So welcome, Permelia.
Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate you inviting me to be part of the Awesome Life podcast. I'm happy to be on the podcast and let people know what the Healing Institute's all about.
Yeah. So what did prompt you to create this Healing Institute?
Well, interestingly, you should ask that question. So I live on Vancouver Island on the west coast of Canada. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot. It's internationally known that it has a very energetic vortex where I live. And, those of us who live here think it's great, but we didn't know that other people or that it was given that title of this this vortex, this energetic vortex, until I attended a conference that, people like Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza were all there. And the organizers of the conference told us why they had chosen this small city on Vancouver Island. Like, most people know about Vancouver, which is on the mainland, which is a very big city, would have a very large conference center, but they chose to have the conference here. So that kind of prompted me to look around, talk to other practitioners, and ask them if they might be interested in having maybe a building where they could do their yoga retreats and their workshops, and even see their clients, in a nice, quiet and venue. So that's what I was doing in the fall of 2019, just to give everybody kind of a perspective as to what was happening. And then we know what happened in 2020. So I was then networking on all the very many networking platforms that started to show up. And I was
the internet, you mean?
Yes, the internet. So so a number of networking platforms were being created by people to help people stay in touch, because, the first part of 2020, we were all locked down. We were certainly in our community. I had a small office in a building, and I had to go home. I very much am grateful for the fact that I didn't have to close down my business, that I was able to still do it by Zoom and over the phone. But a lot of people did have to close down their businesses. So when I started to meet other holistic practitioners at these networking venues, these online Zoom networking venues, I went, oh, well, I don't need to have a building. We could actually have a platform that was relating to all the holistic practitioners all over the world. So it kind of started as an idea. It started just kind of as a little nugget. And then over the last almost 2 years now, I've probably interviewed over 200 practitioners. For those of you who may not realize that, but as a practitioner, really, we don't like to network. We don't like to market. We would just like to be able to.
We don't want to market. We don't want to be out there. We just want to be helpful and be of service with love.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah, we just want to do what we think we feel we do best for our clients if we didn't have to. So, of course, my question to all of the practitioners I was meeting was, if you had a place where you could be part of this community and clients were coming to you, would that be something you'd be interested in? And everybody's like, yes, we would really like, that would be great. So it has evolved over the 2 years. We now have 30 practitioners that represent 8 countries, and probably, I was just quickly adding up the modalities, probably well over 80 modalities, because obviously a number of practitioners have more than one modality. And we really are excited to let the world know we exist, because we really believe that our service is to be well and to stay well. And I'm always saying I want to help create a proactive wellness society. We've been a reactive illness society for way too long. So it's now time to be proactive, and holistic therapies, holistic practitioners are starting to become more well-known in mainstream society. And we're in the process of marketing and letting the world know that our 30 practitioners are ready for them to come to the website and to connect with them, have a session, and on their health journey, because we're all on a health journey. So
yeah, we all want to. What sense is it to enjoy or to have the money if you're not healthy? You need to have that health in order to enjoy what you're doing, to enjoy life to the fullest. You need to have at least a semblance of health. And I know from my work with my heart energy techniques that it can be done relatively quickly, easily. And I call mine heart energy techniques because it integrates everything out there. Although I don't know that I have 80 different modalities in the heart energy techniques. We have hypnotherapy, NLP, EFT, all kinds of energy work, theta energy, and essential oils, and all kinds of things. But Reiki is part of, well, that's all part of the
everything that you've named is part of our modalities as well. And remember, we have these 30 practitioners throughout the whole world. They're representing 8 countries. So they may, I have, for example, if you went on to the website and you put in the search bar yoga. So I have 3 practitioners right now who do yoga. Two are online. So 2 are here in Canada. They also do other things besides yoga. And one is in Ireland. So, it may make more sense if you were over on the continent or in England or Ireland, that side of the world, to connect with that practitioner versus the ones that are here in Canada. So when I say 80 modalities, I mean, that's representative because quite often, very often, practitioners have more than one modality. So yes. So
there are like 400 different kinds of yoga, I understand. So you can call each one a modality. Okay, I get it. That's awesome. That really is. So with all of the, how did the practitioners find you? or did you find them? How did you go about doing that?
Well, mostly I was searching for them. I also have in the last year had many people that I've met online doing what we call a discovery call, where there's just the two of you on Zoom having a little chat and finding out about each other. And so people have been referring practitioners to me.
Oh, wonderful.
And then we will have that call. I have an onboarding questionnaire that I send them. So I get an idea about them and their business and their company and the kind of clients that they have and they serve. A little bit about their marketing, because of course that's part of our promise to bring them clients. So we want to be able to augment whatever marketing that they're doing with the marketing strategy that we have for the Healing Institute. And then people will say, yes, I actually want to be part of this platform. So we started with a landing page with our website. We didn't have it. It just went live where you can actually put in the search for different things now and find all the different practitioners. But 6 months ago, I had what I call the landing page. And on that, I had 2 buttons. One was a practitioner button. So if people were going to the website and they were a practitioner, they could fill out that information. It was a form that comes to me in an email, and then I would follow up with them. And I probably have 6 of the practitioners that we have that did that.
Okay.
So just followed up with them. Someone had told them about the website. They popped in there, looked at what already was up there, filled out that form, and then we had again, as I call it, a discovery call, and they thought that this would be something they'd like to be part of. And as well, we've also had a number of, I'm in lots of networking sessions with different people. You and I are in one. And so after we've met, and for those people who might not understand how that works, sometimes we have a smaller Zoom meeting room inside the larger networking group, and then you get to know people really well. So then you can connect with them on LinkedIn, or if they put their information in the chat that's part of the meeting, then you just can connect with them and set up time to have a one-on-one with them at that point. So that has been taking up most of my time, and that's how I've met the practitioners that are part of the Healing Institute.
I love it. I love it. And, we were talking about the holistic, and I forget sometimes that not everybody knows what holistic might mean. And of course, I'm a person of vocabulary and definition. So what holistic means to one may not mean the same to somebody else. So what does holistic mean for you and the Institute?
Well, thank you for that question. I consider holistic practitioners or holistic ways of being well and staying well, but really looking at what the root cause is of why the client has that issue. So whether it's a physical issue, emotional issue, mental issue, even a spiritual issue, what is that issue? So let's just use physical, because that's easy to equate, right? So if you have a pain or discomfort, something that's going on in your body is telling you that it's not in balance. Now, we don't necessarily think about, we haven't been trained, we haven't been educated about how our bodies can be in balance. We've just been educated that if you have a pain, you have some kind of discomfort, you go to a doctor. The doctor will then tell you what you need to do. And I'm certainly a support for allopathic medicine. I would, we all need that, but we've only been ever taught that as a North American society, for example, whereas Eastern medicine and Eastern societies have been taught to look at the body, that there's something not quite right with the body, that's something that's not in balance, something that could be an organ, it could be a gland, it could be some kind of something going on with your nervous system. And so why is that happening? And so to answer your question, the definition of holistic for me is to get to that root cause. So we're not just giving it a Band-Aid treatment. We're not just dealing with the symptom, because usually if we have pain or discomfort in some, it's a symptom. It's a
Throw a
symptom of
pill at it,
something.
thread a pill at it, and get rid of it for the moment. Just keep throwing those pills at it. One of the things that I have found very interesting too is, and I'm wondering if you have noticed it, is that with the Western medicine, people have no problem taking a pill 3 times a day. But when the holistic idea, and yeah, do this 3 times a day, put on an essential oil, do this energy work, do the breathing, dance, whatever it might be, 3 times a day, they say, it didn't work when I did it this morning, so it doesn't work at all.
Well, and that's the reason why I'm calling the Healing Institute an institute, because I'm really passionate about educating people about how they can be well and stay well from a holistic point of view. And we're not taught that. That's what I was mentioning before, where we've grown up in a society that was just, if you have an issue, you take a pill. We are only now learning about the side effects of some of these pills. And I just read a very interesting book a little while ago, where it's called, I'm just trying to think of the name off the top of my head, but anyway, one of the stories about this book was that the pharmaceutical companies, this one particular pharmaceutical company, they had created this pill, but nobody was taking it. So guess what they did? They created an illness to go with the pill. So, I mean, that's at our very worst, right? And I had actually heard about this particular pill, and from another area that I was, because I read a lot, as you can see by my bookcase. There's lots on there. I think it was called I think now the title of the book's coming to me. I can't remember the author, but it's called Our Daily Meds, I think was the title. And I was like, really? People are, they were quite, I mean, this was a journalist. I'll always believe journalists, because they do their research. It was a journalist that had written the book, and so she had done a lot of research around this. And this particular pharmaceutical company took out ads in magazines. They really promoted that, well, if you have this issue, you need to take this pill. What they discovered down the road was that the pill actually caused almost like Alzheimer's symptoms. So, and it wasn't until the family of they mentioned two different ladies, completely different families, but it wasn't until the families really started to research what their aging mother was taking, that they discovered once they stopped taking those pills, they didn't have those symptoms. They didn't have those memory issues. Yeah. So that's sad. Like that hurts my heart when I think about that. And when I read those stories, that helps me continue on with what I want to do. And I want to, we really want to help heal the world. We really want to make health a priority. And we know that that's a priority, just as you said earlier. If we don't have our health, it doesn't matter what else we might have.
So did you have a health issue that you had to deal with to come to this world?
I did not, but my mother did.
Oh, okay.
Yes. She was on high blood pressure medication for over 20 years. And not once did her doctor tell her or suggest in that period of time that she should have her kidneys checked. Ooh. And she ended up dying at 61 of kidney failure.
61. Oh my gosh, so young.
Very young. Yeah.
Oh my.
So every now and again I'm like, okay, Mom, I'm doing this for you just as much as I feel, as you mentioned in my introduction, that I do feel that I was divinely led to make this happen. Yeah. We just need to have a health. Our health is so important. We need to know that our bodies are very resilient. We're not taught that actually, your body can heal itself, and our thoughts I mean, Dr. Bruce Lipton, he wrote the book Biology of Belief, and he's proven in that book that if you think a certain way, whether it's positive or negative, that could actually happen. So if you think that you're going to get cancer because there's cancer in your family, you will get it. But as Dr. Bruce Lipton says, there is no cancer gene. So
not a gene. There are cancer cells in our body.
Yes,
but how they're that doesn't mean that you will have it developed. We all have those cancer cells, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get cancer inevitably.
But if you believe that you will, because and that's all, that's his whole book, Biology of Belief.
It's law of attraction at its best,
totally.
or
worst, yes. and I've studied the law of attraction, and I've also have a session that I help my clients with to overcome those limiting beliefs and to remove them and incorporate a belief that they now have, because we grow up in society, we grow up in families that there's a certain belief system. And then I often say, you need to kind of think about, okay, well, does that belief still, does that still serve me? And maybe it doesn't, when by the time you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s, it doesn't serve you anymore. So if it doesn't serve you, then let's get rid of it.
Absolutely. And that's the key. That's the A in awesome, is awareness and allowing.
Awareness. Yeah.
It's absolutely. Like I tell my clients still, don't believe in this. I had one guy come to me who said, fine, Karen, what you're suggesting. Okay. And by the way, I don't believe a word of what you're saying. I don't believe in any of these modalities whatsoever. But at this point, I'm willing to try anything. So I said, that's great. Don't believe in it. Don't believe in it, but be aware of the changes that occur.
Step one, awareness.
Awareness.
Absolutely. Yes.
4 sessions later, he came back and said, I don't need you anymore. This is awesome.
And those are our best case scenarios, right? We want that to happen for our clients. We want our clients to just say, okay, it worked. I didn't believe, but now I do.
Now I do. And getting to the core, as you say, getting to the core,
getting to that,
don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yes.
And that
getting to the root cause, of why did this show up? I do body code, emotion code work. That's my main modality. And so I'll find these balls of negative energy, these trapped emotions. Dr. Bradley Nelson is the author of this modality. And I'll find these in my clients' subconscious. And when we release them, they're like, oh my goodness, I feel so much lighter. I feel like I'm sleeping better. There's just, but we're not taught about energy. We're not taught that we are actually vibration. We are energetic beings. We're taught that this physical body is it. Well, apparently not. It's more than just a physical body. This is energy.
Everything is energy. The chair we're sitting in, everything, and our bodies are energy. And if we can really, reprogram that energy, so to speak,
exactly,
it can really make a huge difference. And the big thing is your willingness. Is that, what kind of clients are you looking for your own modality and for the Healing Institute? Who would you like to have come to you?
Well, we do want clients who are willing to try something different. And, we found clients on all the practitioners that we have in the Healing Institute have at some point in time talked to clients who were willing, because as you said, with the one example that you gave, that nothing else was working.
Right.
So if you still have that physical pain, then you're about ready to try almost anything. So if you are willing, you're aware, and then you're willing, those are the best clients to have, because they're open to it. And, not everybody's open to energy work. They don't understand what that is. They don't understand what the vibration is, that we're not, again, educated. We're not taught that there is actually throughout the whole universe a vibratory grid. So when we talk about being connected, we actually are. Energetically and vibrationally, we are connected. So so those are the kinds of clients that we want to help, because they're willing, they're ready, and you have to be ready. You have to definitely be ready. When I first started my practice, I had a few wives who were sending me their husbands because they needed something fixed. And I have to say, there was a couple of men, who were okay with it, and they had improvements on whatever that was. Most of it was physical, but there was a couple who I just knew, they're not getting it because they're just not accepting what this could be. They're
not allowing.
They're not allowing. Yeah. And this one husband said to me, "I'm only here because my wife said I had to be here." And I'm like,
exactly.
Oh, okay. So from then on in, I was like, no, we're not going to waste your time, our time, money, and to have somebody come and not get it. So I was always very clear if there was anybody, well, I really want so-and-so to come to you. I had a client just recently, she's been working with me for a while, and she wanted her grandson to come because, she's been getting lots of benefits. And so I said, well, let me talk to him first, because she said, I'm willing to pay. And I'm like, well, that's not the point. The point is, if he's not willing to accept the process and how it works, then it's not going to be beneficial. And sure enough, I had a phone conversation with him, and he said, well, let me think about it. I was like, okay, well, go ahead and think about it and then let me know. And no, it was a no.
Now, let me ask you this. I know a lot of my clients come to me and they say, I need you to fix this. And that isn't how our work works. They have to do the work themselves. But if they are on medications that their doctor suggests that they be on, how does that interact with the energy work that is done? Does that make
sense? I usually do. So the process for determining what these balls of negative energy or trapped emotions that Dr. Bradley Nelson refers to is the process is to connect with the client's subconscious. The subconscious will then tell us what needs to happen, because the subconscious is true to who we are. And so whether I'm working with a client in person, over Zoom, even over the phone, it's all the same process. And so I'll muscle test. So I used to use a pendulum for years with energy. That was, when I was first studying energy, I was like fascinated that this pendulum would give me a yes and a no.
Yeah.
And now I just
every room.
Now I just use my fingers to muscle test. Okay. And so the muscles, again, our muscles are true to who we are. They don't lie. And so I'll just muscle test. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to ever tell somebody not to take a medication that their doctor has prescribed. But I want them to be aware. Have you when you get a prescription, it'll have a list of all of the side effects. Have you read that? Are those side effects still happening? I had one client come to me because she was having some real issues with her digestion. And when she told me the medication she was on, I just Googled it. She came in person. So I was at my computer and I just said, okay, well, let's check out to see what these side effects are. She'd been on this medication for quite a while, and she felt it was helping, but the side effects of this digestive issue was starting to become more prominent. And I just read to her what I found on the internet. Like, okay, this medication and this medication both have said side effects are digestive issues. So you've got those two medications together. So now your digestive issues are probably compounded. So we have to educate ourselves. We have to, we're not taught to do that. We're taught if the doctor knows, the doctor's smart, they went to medical school for all those years. But when you talk to when you talk to a doctor about how much time in that education where they talked about where they were part of their education, how much time was nutrition?
Mhm.
It's like almost nil. How much time was pharmaceuticals? Almost nil. So, I had a cousin who was a pharmacist, and she knew more about the medication. So I'm like, go to your pharmacist, talk to your pharmacist, ask your pharmacist about side effects and this and that. And, we have to educate ourselves around. And that was a big learning for me with my mom's issue. My mom believed the doctor had the education. She never thought to question that.
And even if they do question, they're still the God. They're still the person who knows it all. And so I love the fact that you said go to a pharmacist, because that makes all the difference. I
The
know.
pharmacist will know what the medication is being dispensed.
Yeah.
The pharmacist will know.
And the interactions there.
And the interaction, exactly. Yeah, we have to be curious. I often say, what did you get in trouble for when you were a child? Well, I was always too sensitive and I asked too many questions. So I say now, if whatever you got into trouble for when you were a child is probably your gift.
I got to say, I was always too sensitive, but I also didn't take anything at face value. I had to find out myself, and I didn't ask questions, because if I asked the questions, I'd get an answer, but it may not be the answer that answered my question.
Right.
So I had to find it for myself.
Yeah. And curiosity is really a good thing.
I find it so. And the fact is, guys, you don't go to a practitioner or an energy worker to have them fix you, because there really truly is nothing wrong right now. There is a core issue that is creating that energy block, as Permelia has pointed out. And if we can clear that and open the flow of energy, then things get a whole lot better. It just does.
So true.
And recognize what was going on in the big picture of things. So, okay, I started feeling badly, and now it's 5 years down the road, and I really feel horrible, and I put on all this weight, and it's awful. And the doctors are giving me all this medicine to help with my pain. Well, let's go back again, not a doctor on this end either, not a psychologist, but let's go back and just look at the big picture at the time. Okay, your mom died, your dad was cheating on her, he was away, your sister was sick, and you were lonely. Okay, do you think that might have maybe started some of the
a little bit, just a little bit,
little snowball effect here? So if we can remove that, then things start coming easier. And that's what your institute and your practitioners are able to help with, and yourself able to help with. So where do you see your institute in, say, a year or 2 years?
Oh, great question. So my vision of the Institute is that by 2024, we'll be in 12 plus countries. We'll have over 200 practitioners, and we'll be servicing over 2,000 clients. So that's my vision. I actually put those numbers together in 2021. I was working with an amazing business coach, and she said to me one day, well, where do you want to be in 3 years? And I'm like, oh, it's 2021. Can I just get through 2021? She's like, no. And she knew at the time that I needed that push, because I have manifested many things in my life, and so she was very much a visionary and saw that I had the potential to do that. So I said, okay, well, let me think about this, because I'm not just going to throw some numbers out in the air. So I did a lot of thinking about it. I did a lot of meditating. I did a lot of praying. And what came up for me were these numbers. So this is 2021, mid 2021. So at that point I said 8 countries, 200 practitioners, 2,000 clients. Well, by the time I started onboarding all of the practitioners last summer, which is 2022, we were already in 8 countries. So we hadn't even launched yet, and we were already in 8 countries. So like, okay, I need to ramp the numbers up a little bit. So I'm still staying with the 200 practitioners and the 2,000 clients, but I'm saying a minimum of. So a minimum of 12 countries, a minimum of 200 practitioners, and a minimum of 2,000 clients. We just want to get the information out to the world so that people can be healthy. Because when you're healthy, as you know, when you are we step into our best selves when we don't have to worry about pain, whether it's a physical pain or emotional pain or mental pain, or even a spiritual pain. We are our best humans when we can be pain-free, whatever that might look like. And the world needs us. The world needs us to be at our very, very best. They needs us to be stepping into our power, to be stepping into making we talk about wanting to make the world a better place. Well, we have the capability of doing that.
We absolutely do. And I'm so happy that you have created this marvelous resource for us to go to. And how can they find you, Permelia?
Well, I put the website here under by my name. So it's thehealinginstitute.com, but thehealinginstitute.org was already taken. So I had to put hyphens in between healing and institute. And so, so you'll find me there. You'll find I'm for anybody who's listening, who's got a profile on LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. We have a Facebook page. I'm on Instagram. So just start searching for us. Please let people know, once Karen, your podcast airs, I would love it for people to share it. And so that we can let people know that we exist, that we have these holistic practitioners ready to help them step into their own power and be healthy. And that's my focus for the next 2 months, until we're kind of at the end of the first quarter. So by the end of March, so that we're letting people know that we exist.
That is fantastic. And the fact is, how awesome is it that you can do this right from the comfort of your own home? This is so amazing. And it's not magic. It just feels like magic. You feel better. And you can't think straight when you are hurting. You just can't.
Nope.
So isn't it nicer to open up that energy of awesomeness to come to you? And Permelia is a marvelous resource for this. So I will make sure that is there. You can see it in our conversation, and on the podcast, I will have that in the show notes below. So
beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We all need to have an awesome life. I love the name of your podcast. Yeah. We need to step into our awesome life. This is why we're here. This is why we have this is our purpose. Our purpose is to make this life the best life possible. Yeah. So
and you notice the W, we have the awareness, and the allowing is the A. And then the W is the very next thing, which is wellness.
Wellness. Yeah.
So mental and physical wellness, that's what it's all about. And then we go on to the rest of the things. So, Permelia, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time and your sharing and your passion that comes through, and this wonderful platform that people can easily find practitioners. And if you are a practitioner, reach out to her.
Yes. Fill out that information there's a button that says practitioner.
Awesome. I love it. Well, any last words before we go?
Just to say thank you so much to you, Karen. I greatly appreciate the fact that you have your Awesome Life podcast and that you invited me to be part of it. Thank you. It's just another wonderful step of getting the information out to everyone
Well, thank you. Thank you. Because I only have fun people. I mean, only hang out with fun people. That is what you need to do. And Permelia is one of those fun people. So thank you, everybody. And until next time, be awesome.